I'm Bernadette Castro, and my father, Bernard Castro, invented the convertible sofa as we know it today.
The success story is something that I think of often.
He basically lived by two principles that he kind of taught us, which was, treat people with respect and do the right thing.
My grandfather got here from Italy. I believe he was 17, and he worked as an upholsterer cutting fabrics. And there was one woman who had brought in a large sofa that was sort of awkward looking and asked if he could do the reupholstery on it. And he said, we can do this, but we have to take this big bulky bed thing out of it because it's impossible to do. And she said, no, forget it then.
So he thought, okay, she needs the bed, she wants it to look prettier. And he started fooling around with it.
My grandfather was a visionary and he knew what he wanted. And so the best way for him to get what he wanted was to actually do it himself.
And then enter me at 4 years old. My parents came into the living room and I was asleep on the open Castro convertible. So my dad said to my mom, "That's interesting, did you open that for her?" She said, "No, I thought you opened it." And they went, "Oh my gosh, she opened it."
He realized the power, if everybody could see how easy it was that a 4-year-old could do it, that more people would be inclined to buy it. So he produced his own little commercial.
My dad took a 6-week buy. Week 6, 5 ladies come in and say, "We want to see what the little girl opened." He called Duma and he said, "Let her roll."
My mother became a legend, still the most televised little girl today. They ran the commercial for 10 straight years.
I do remember people spoofing it. Jackie Gleason, Milton Berle, Mad Magazine. It was iconic for its time.
Originally we had over 75 showrooms. We had a factory in Long Island where everything was built. We were the manufacturer and the retailer in one.
You don't really realize it until you're older, but when you look back on it, you realize, wow, this was a real operation.
I learned a tremendous amount from my father. His little sayings, the harder you work, the luckier you get. It was never about luck with him.
His entire life was all about work ethic and living right. He worked hard with nothing and made something out of it.
He passed away in '91. In '93, we did make the decision to sell the furniture division only. I went into politics. I worked for Governor George Pataki in his cabinet in New York for 12 years. So when he left, I said, okay, I got one career left. So I said, let's buy back the name.
We found that as we did focus groups that people had that same smile on their face when they heard about the Castro Convertible brand and how much their grandmother loved it. And we still have one. And those kind of comments gave us confidence to go ahead and do this.
We decided to come back on with just the convertible ottoman. My grandfather developed it in the early 50s. It's an ottoman that unfolds into a single bed and it's extremely comfortable.
It's kind of funny because we still have old photos of me on it. Part of the thought process was this is a time when people are looking for furniture that does more than one thing and that can be space saving and be attractive and be good quality.
The relaunch of Castro Convertibles, it's very exciting to me because it is a legacy and it is something that was created by my grandfather and something my mother worked very hard at.
This is her way of reviving the Castro name and bringing that whole conquering of living space back.
Both my parents would have been so pleased to see their great-grandchildren opening the Castro Convertible Ottoman and being a part of the marketing of the relaunch of the company. It's a great feeling.